Hello. So here we are for our fire signs, the readings for Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius for this month of Pisces, Pisces being water sign. So we have opposing energies here. We have fiery energy, but in different characteristics. We have Aries, which is cardinal. They initiate the beginning of spring, and just in general, they get things going. They're the ones that strikes the match, puts the candle light on, or sets things alight um, to start getting things moving. They are forerunners, I would say. Leo. Okay, so Leo is a fixed sign. So that Leo energy is one of strength, courage, love life. They have a very zestful personality. There's something very unique about Leos that makes them attractive to others. It could be their appearance, or it's just their energy, just what surrounds them that makes Leos very interesting. So if you look at some well-known Leos, you see some interesting characteristics of these individuals. They tend to be more performers, but there's something very unique about Leos and their personality. Sagittarius, mutable. Okay, so Sagittarius personality, that's not the word I'm looking for, but they share the same quality as Pisces. Pisces is mutable, so is Sagittarius. So the difference between the two is obviously the element, because Sagittarius is fire, Pisces is water. So their mutability in the way that they approach things is similar. They need space. They need freedom to move because they need to feel their environment. They need to feel comfortable. They need to explore where they are. So when I do the reading for Sagittarius, it'll be interesting to see with those characteristics of spaciousness, and Pisces and Sagittarius share the same planet. One of the planets, Jupiter, and Pisces is Neptune. So we'll explore that a little bit when I go through the readings, and we'll see what comes up. So again, these are going to be the readings for all the fire signs for this month of Pisces, which started on February 18th, and it runs all the way until March 19th. I may have gotten that day off, but I believe it is March 19th. And then we move into Aries and the first day of spring on the 20th. But we'll get to those readings next month. Okay, so first up, let's jump right into Aries. I'm going to stick with this deck. I think it's best that this deck being the Dreams of Gaia, I think it's best that I don't, for me, mix up different decks, like do for water signs, do one deck, fire signs, another deck. I could, but I'm feeling, especially for this month of Pisces, the Dreams of Gaia is a very nice, heart-centric, very sensitive, intuitive deck, very spiritual, which Pisces and Neptune share that unique quality of like the mystery, the unknown, spiritual occult studies. So I'm going to stick with this deck. Okay, so here we go for Pisces. So happy birthday, Pisces. And Aries, we're coming up here for you. So I'm just going to do 3 cards for each sign. And these will be time-stamped, so bear with me because this video needs to upload and I can't time-stamp until they are already uploaded. And so this will be unedited. So you'll see me with all the quirks, rubbing my nose, putting my hands to my hair. Okay, Aries. Okay, so I have the Dreams of Gaia is an interesting deck because their major arcana is broken up into the 3 stages of life. And so I believe there is 20, 22, 23 cards for these stages of life. So there's the first stage where things are from birth, and then the second stage is like the experience that we have during this journey, and then the third phase of the journey in this deck is more or less how we will approach uh, the experiences that we have. What have we learned from them? What can we gain from them? So I got 2 cards from those stages, but the 2 cards that I have here are from the early stage, and I'll explain that. You'll see what I mean. So I have 2 cards from the first stage of life with the Dreams of Gaia, and then the second or the third card that I have here is in the realm of water, but it's reversed. So Aries, the first card I have here for you for the month of Pisces is I have the Child. Move. There we go. Very beautiful card showing beginnings. This is a wonderful card to introduce to Aries because, as I mentioned, Aries are initiators. But here, as we look at this card here, I'll move a little closer so you can see all the information. We're seeing like a new lease on life, starting over. With this child, I would almost say it's almost a form of rebirth. And we have the hummingbird. We have these beautiful roses, and we have the celestial halo around this young individual. So with Pisces and Aries, okay, again, we have 2 opposing elements. So there's going to be some soul searching for almost all the signs I'll be doing readings for the month of Pisces. This will be for all the signs. We're going to be going inward, okay, because that's what Pisces represents. Pisces represents our internal, our subconscious, most definitely our intuition. And being that Pisces is this last sign of the astrological cycle and ending our winter season, I think in a way, I think it's a wonderful time for all the signs I'll be doing readings for this month of Pisces, but especially the fire signs. I think this is a wonderful time to just start. Let's just kind of stop instead of slowing things down. Let's stop before we get ready to enter into the spring season. Let's go back. Okay. And I don't necessarily say that this could be of going back to that playful moment. That can be part of it, but I feel this whole journey here with Aries and the child is kind of tapping into energies of not being so serious. Aries, once they get something going, they just kind of keep going. But let's kind of hold this energy back. Let's go back to where we're actually stepping outside and we're seeing everything with clear eyes. A perspective that hasn't been influenced, see things differently. And so in that almost naive way for Aries, because Aries rules the mind. So there's not the mind, but they rule this part, the head, the eyes, the nose, the mouth. And so there's a lot that's coming in. So I feel with this card, the child card, let's just kind of hold back a little bit. Okay. And take just not a less serious, but a more open-minded approach towards whatever is going on at this time. Second card that I have here for Aries, and this almost goes eye to eye with this child card. I'll show you this one here that I'm talking about, death and rebirth. So remember I was saying here with the child card, move this here so you could take a look. Look at that. Is that not beautiful? Okay, but look here. Okay. So we're seeing, here, get a good angle here. We see that child. We see what's being nurtured. Okay. We're seeing in this Orphic egg. There we go. Look at this. And just the complacency and the contentment of being in this egg, but also being protected. We have these 3 skulls, and we also have the snake. There we go. And then we have the frog right here on the bottom. Okay. The frog represents cycles. The snake is of healing, but also wisdom, and also the guardian of knowledge. So with this card here, okay, we're actually seeing the early stages of what comes next. And there's no order for this, okay? So we could see we have this innocent wonder, seeing things in a different perspective and just being like enchanted and just like, wow, this is something new. Okay, and this is where we start. Okay, we go to this place here, death, letting go, releasing, and spiritually, physically, emotionally, shape-shifting all that energy. You know, going into the next phase. I think when someone goes through any form of any form of change, there's going to be growth, but there's also going to be letting go. And so for Aries, let's work with this for the month of Pisces. This is going to be a very deep month for all the signs because of the Piscean influence. Water, you know, dealing with what's underneath. Pisces rules the 12th house, so we're looking at influences of spirituality, past actions, past situations that still need to be dealt with or may come up again, healing, stuff that we keep to ourselves and that we know needs to be taken care of. Okay, so Pisces tends to be that very serious sign and also very mysterious because of that, because there's all this information, all this shifting inside that's going on that it's really hard to explain to someone. You know, it's best that you work with these changes on your own. The next card that I have here, okay, but this is in reverse. I'm going to show you the upright position. Okay. I have here emotions. There we go. I have emotions and intellect. Okay, but this is reversed. Okay, and this is with the element of water. I don't think it's going to make much of a difference if I reverse it. But if you look at the whole realm, okay, emotional and intellect reversed for Aries. We need to start feeling more. Okay, as I mentioned, Aries rules the head. They rule the upper part. Taurus rules the neck. Gemini the shoulders, so on and so forth. So I feel in this part, we need to open up. So when if I get some water cards and I'm doing a reading for someone who has a fire influence in their chart, whether it's their sun, moon, or rising, and I get more water in their reading or a card like this, emotion, intellect, and this being reversed, we need to start feeling more. Okay, we have to, in a sense, disconnect from our mind, stop overthinking, because again, there's a lot of action going on. Aries is a physical sign, and emotionally and spiritual sign, but active. And so what we need to do is we need to focus more on the purpose of what's going on inside, and to take attention, and to start getting to the core and the root of things that may be holding you back. And Pisces energy will allow that for this month. But also keep in mind, Pisces is healing. Okay. And so with a card like this, emotion and intellect, there we go. Takes a minute or a second. So here, this is just a time to just really start intellectualizing your emotions. Start, instead of being reactive to what's going on, start breaking down why these things are happening. Why are patterns continuing? Why can I not deal with this certain situation, past actions or anything like that? So that's going to be the challenge. Fire signs, when it comes to any influence of water, it's very hard for them because it's an element of movement. Water is movement. So is fire, but fire is a little bit more aggressive. Water can be aggressive, but it goes like in a large force. The same with fire, but fire is initiated. Water is always there. It can dissipate, but the power of water is very strong. Water can extinguish the energy of fire if there's too much. So we need to watch those energies if there's an overabundance of some of these elements. So again, for Aries, let's just kind of be a little bit playful, a little bit more innocent in the way that we see things, and take a more like a childlike perspective, like, wow, see things differently, see things through the eyes of a child. Okay. And that's kind of hard because we're all conditioned once we're adults, so to kind of fall back into that state can be a challenge, but it is there. Put yourself in a situation where maybe you could be a little bit more childlike in the way that you approach things. And then, of course, death and rebirth. And this is the month. This is the month for that. Remember the 12th house, okay? A lot of letting go, transcending, healing, moving on. I'm looking at something else here. The power of the skulls. Okay. It is the cycle. It is the cycle that we go through life, death. We learn from it, we grow from it. We become regenerated from it. So this is I think a card to really pay attention to as things start shifting. And then, of course, emotion and intellect reverse. Let's focus more on being more, slowing the energy down, but paying attention to what's going on inside instead of just rolling with the punches. Take that time to feel, be still for a moment. And that's going to be the general energy for all the fire signs for the month of Pisces. Okay, so we want that energy to be almost still-like. That's the only way. Okay, water moves, okay, but depending on how much force you're going to be putting into that water. So fire signs, Aries can really ruffle up and stir up those waters. Okay, so we don't want to be too aggressive with that. Okay, this is a time, like I said, Pisces, of inner reflection, searching within, kind of losing yourself for a little bit. Losing yourself, but in the same time being connected in that realm. You're going into a different plane, so you don't want to get too lost, but just experience what's going on, feel being connected into that deeper realm. Okay, so that's Aries. Okay, let's jump right into Leo. Okay, so Leo we have fixed. So as I state in all the videos, in case people don't watch all of them, this can apply to your moon and rising sign as well. Okay, so it doesn't necessarily have to be directly your sun sign. It doesn't necessarily have to be your sun sign, and that's initially how I'm doing these readings. So when I do Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, all the signs, primarily the sun, but this reading can also apply for your moon and rising. So if you want to watch some of the other videos for the readings of this month and the upcoming months, if you're, let's say, your sun's in Aries, your moon's in Pisces, and your rising is in Sagittarius, that's pretty intense. But if it's in a situation like that, you can look at all the readings that I do for those signs for that month. And you can kind of put, note the cards that I pull and maybe pull them out and put them in a layout. Find out what the cards I pulled for the reading for your sun sign, and the cards that I read if you have a fire sign, rising sign, and any of the other elements, you can combine those together. All right, so Leo, I have here more towards the later part of those stages of life. So I have one card that's at the tail end of it. The other two cards I have here are in the realm of water, or in the realm of air, which is good because air and fire do work together. But again, keep in mind, we're in the month of Pisces. So the card that I have here for you to start out with is intuition. Perfect card. So this is good. We're getting influences in relation to the month of Pisces. So here is 22. So this is the third stage, moving towards the end of the three stages in the Dreams of Gaia. This is one of my favorite cards. And we have this individual who is just firmly connecting to themselves. As above, so below. And we see the work here up above with the spider. And I'm going to move a little closer so you can see this information here. Okay. So the spider, you can read this in any way. It looks like the spider is sort of entranced by the moon itself. We have the spider web. And we also have the individual cupping the crescent moon. We have, of course, the owl for knowledge. And then just, I like the color here, the blue, connecting to water and the realms of the deeper subconscious. And we also have the cat. Almost didn't see this, the black cat. Also of intuition and of spiritual insight. So we have a lot happening here. We're seeing for Leo that this is the time, this month of Pisces, to really take this opportunity, take the advantage of what Pisces has to offer. Okay. And so we're looking at here. Okay. And connecting and feeling very, very strong to who we are. Leo rules the heart. Okay. So their sensitivity is more on the external realm because they listen to what people have to say, and they can become influenced by someone's words if the words are harsh, or if they are of great gratitude. Okay, but for this month, Leo, I think this is a wonderful time to not take to heart what people say. You may even feel a little bit more sensitive at this time. Okay, and if that's the case, work with that energy. Okay. Okay. Listen to what's going on. Listen to what's happening inside, and don't shun it. Okay. Don't question it. Go with it. Okay. We're in the realm of water, so we're going to be exploring some areas that maybe, you haven't, explored in a while or never have seen before. That's the growth. That's the experience of us individuals when we go through something. It's when we're put in that moment and how we feel, how we react. What are we experiencing at that time? And what can we take from it? Okay. So if Leo can work through that energy and embrace it, there will be a lot of growth. The other cards that I have here, this is the Queen of Air. I'm just going to have to let that. There we go. Okay, so Queen of Air has been coming up. This can be associated with Libra, but this deck doesn't really hold a law of astrology influence in it, so I'm sticking to the signs that I'm reading for. But air and fire work good together. The Queen of Air is of knowledge. So of this card of intuition, okay, the knowledge that we're gaining is what we're learning from within ourselves, okay, and trusting what we're feeling. Once we trust that feeling and we get that connection to ourselves, that intuition, we start getting spiritual knowledge. We start getting moving into the spiritual, intellectual realm. Everything starts making sense. You're able to explain certain things of who you are to people instead of like, oh, I don't quite understand, what's going on. It makes sense. And so once you understand that, okay, the Queen of Air, you're able to share your experience because it's very influential. It's very profound, the experience that you have, Leo, at this time. Okay. And so feel free to express how you're feeling. You can show it, but start verbalizing it. Maybe write things down that you haven't experienced before. Sometimes people, when they think so much and they have all these thoughts going on, it's kind of hard to break each thought down individually. So I'm a big proponent of writing, journaling. Just write it down and see everything. This is your groundwork. And so by seeing these words, that's where the connection goes even more. It's like the connection of the heart and the intellect. And running right alongside of it, I have here the 3 of air. Let's try here. There we go. So we're seeing the work that's being done. Okay, as you look at these cards, you'll see reoccurring symbols. We have the owl. And we have all the glyphs. And it's not stated in the book exactly what this is, but I interpret this as knowledge. And then we have the dragon here as the guide, as the force, the fiery force. But really start paying attention to things that are going on inside, Leo. Okay? And a lot of people, you have to question things that you don't understand, and that's understandable. But start doing the work. Okay? I could say analyzing, start exploring, start researching what needs to be further understood. Okay? Because it all starts here. Okay? It all starts with the intuition and the experience that you're gaining from being in a certain environment or a certain situation. You learn and grow from it. Okay? And we have the 2 cards of air, Queen of Air and the 3 of Air. We do the work. We got the knowledge here. Try to understand. And ask questions. If there's something that you're not too certain about, express this to someone that you feel that maybe can guide you. Okay? And, the more you ask questions, the more things will start falling into place, but make sure you're getting information from the right sources. It has to be sources that you feel comfortable with. Sources where what someone has to say, a guide, makes sense. It's like, okay, yeah. And it all starts here. Once you get the intuition, Leo, and things start falling into place, that's where the knowledge and then the wisdom comes into play. You have a lot to offer, Leo, and I think a lot of people are watching you. And so this is a time, as I said, with Pisces, we're going more inwardly. So people can't really see what's going on inside of you. But if you're feeling all these shifts, feel comfortable with it. And then when you're ready to, have that aha moment, express, share with other people. Say, you know what, this is what I'm going through. This is something that I've never, it's like a spiritual sobriety of sorts. Let's say you've been going down a slippery slope with your practice or trying to get to a certain point in your life, and then something happens. It's just like, wow, I got to follow through with this. And there's quite a few people who've gone through that journey, and they're still going through it. So Leo, you're in good company. Okay. So we have intuition, the Queen of Air, and the 3 of Air. Okay. Normally the 3 of Air is like, is the the swords impaling the heart, but that's not what we get here. This deck does not follow the Rider-Waite system, so it takes a different perspective, and that's why I like to read with this deck, because it has that. You don't have to make reference to RWS, Thoth, or Marseille. You can, if you have those decks, you can pull those cards out from those decks that you have that may be influenced by those systems, just to get a different perspective. But that's where we are for you, Leo. Okay, so let's go right into Sagittarius. I want to move quickly. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. Okay, I'm available for readings. That's all in the description. You can take a look at my website, Instagram. Feel free to keep in touch, subscribe, keep tabs by hitting that notification bell. All righty. Next up, Sagittarius. So Leo is fixed. And now we're going to go into the quality of mutability, which Pisces shares and Sagittarius, but they're in different landscapes. Pisces and water, Sagittarius fire. So I'll do these 3 cards here. Sagittarius. Wow, I'm getting these interesting stages here. Wow, for the fire signs. It looks overall for these fire signs, there's a lot of stages that are showing up in the readings I've been doing so far. So I have 1 card that's in water for Sagittarius, 2 cards that are, one that's almost like right in the midpoint between the first and second stage. And then I have 1 card that's going towards the 3rd stage of life's journey with this deck. I'm going to have to read it. Yeah. So Sagittarius, we have here emotions. This is a card that does come up, interestingly enough, when I do readings with this deck. Not often, but it does come up. So here we're literally seeing the balance of happiness and unhappiness. And we have above, it's almost like a choice. What direction do you want to go, Sagittarius? Sagittarius they're optimistic. They always look, they know what's here, but they are looking beyond. They get excited about what's lying on the other side, what's waiting ahead. That keeps them moving, and they will keep moving until they hit certain points of their journey. And so they're just like, okay, yeah, this is great, and I mentioned here with Sagittarius, we got 2 different stages. So here, emotionally, how we're perceiving things. Okay, so with this month of Pisces, we're going to listen. Okay, if there's any struggles that we have in a situation, we're going to work through this. Okay, we don't want to be stuck in either one of these realms. We need to move on, we need to heal, and we need to get to that point of where, let's see if I can move this light here. We need to get to this point to where we have this confidence and knowing that we can work between these 2 realms. We have the dragon fiery symbol here. This light's going to fall here in a minute. There we go. Okay. So we have the dragon here, showing the power and giving that influence and strength to get you through some of the darker stages that you may have to experience. But again, it's your choice. Where do you want to go with this? Okay. And so as mentioned, Pisces, it's going to be a very sensitive month. So be kind to yourself. All fire signs, if things emotionally are stirring, be kind. Take that time to go within and to heal. Second card here. So this card here is number 19. So this is going towards the third stage, again, of the journey of life that we all go through. So the first stage, I think it's 1 to 10. And then it's like 11 to 15, 11, probably not 11 to 15. I think it's like 11 to 20. And then from 20 onward goes the last stage. And that last stage is what the outcome is of these journeys. The second stage is what we're experiencing. The first stage is just the initiation from birth and what we're learning in the process. It's almost like the fool's journey, the first few cards in the dreams of Gaia. Okay, so we have here wisdom. It's a very hermit-like card, but the wisdom, the insight that we get by self-reflecting. Okay, so if you look at the cards that I pulled for all the signs, there is this influence of release, healing, letting go, and coming up anew, like for Aries and Leo. Leo's dealing with different forces, opposing forces of air, but to help them to better intellectualize the shifts that are going on. Spiritual knowledge, understanding, and then Sagittarius, wisdom. Okay, going inward, exploring, but this is all calm. So like I said, these fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, they're all strong in their own sense. Aries and Sagittarius, and they share similar types in the sense that Aries is the ram, Sagittarius is, I believe it's a centaur, so half human and half animal. I think it could be a bull or ram, but very strong creature. So we see this influence of Sagittarius, the human aspect, and then underneath from the waist down, we see the animal aspect. As above, so below. And so we're taking that energy of human consciousness and turning all of that movement, all that form of exploring and adventure, which is ruled by the lower part of Sagittarius, of that creature, and we're using it to explore. We're going to move inside, but we're going to move slowly. That's where we get here the wisdom card. And lastly, 10 of water. This is a card where everything comes together. If you take the influence of the emotions, heal, move on from what you're exploring, you start getting some insight, focus on what's going on inwardly. This is all subconscious work for all the signs I'm going to be doing readings for. This is now a time that if your sign is more extroverted, we are now going inside. And so we're going to do a lot of self-exploring during this time. And with this 10 of water, we have full embodiment of who we are. Emotionally, we understand. We say sorry to ourselves. The 10 of water is all of self-love, self-honesty, self-healing. But we move slowly. You know, the turtle's also of knowledge, but it's the time and effort that is put into this whole process. And so it's interesting because these last readings, we're moving slower. We're going more inward. We're searching, okay? So fiery energy is going to be moving inwardly. We're going to take that sense of movement, flipping it inside, turning that fiery element into one that's a little bit more softer, one that is more healing, more kinder. Also one that's going to be challenged by one's exploration into the unknown, because you don't know what you're going to be, you don't know what you're going to come across when you get into these areas of healing and soul searching. Don't be scared, because some things will come up. And so with Sagittarius, we got the emotions. We have the 10 of water. And I just forgot the other card. Just forgot the other card. You'll see what it is. You'll see what it is by just scrolling back. So write these cards down and pull out these cards for your own experience and see what you can get from it. Okay. Alrighty. So next up, I'm going to be doing the readings for earth signs, and then I'm going to be ending it with the air signs. Okay. So thank you so much for watching. Just a quick general read for all the fire signs with the influence of Pisces. So everything is going inward. Okay, this is, again, we're at the end of our astrological season, so things are going to be going to a complete ending. The cycle, everything's going to be culminating, and this is the best time for reflection and to really see where you want to be as we go into the season of spring, and we start with the sign of Aries. All right. Okay. So that's all I wrote, said. Amy, Mystic Rose Tarot, Earth Signs, you're up. Stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching and appreciate your support.